Shay Podcast, your warm tea gather. Hello and welcome to another episode of Shay Podcast, your warm tea gather. This is your host, Widad. I know قبل ما تبداو تعرشوا لي it's been so long ما سمعتوش هاد الانترودكشن. It's been شهر ونص. Shay was not active officially شهر ونص. It's crazy when I say it. It's really crazy. I'm really sorry. I wish I was active then. I have like a long list of excuses, but I'm just gonna say it's life. Life gets crowded, life gets intense, and you gotta keep up with that. It's pretty hard, but we're going through it. We're doing fine. Tell me about you. How are you doing? How's life going on? How's life going on with you? Seriously. I hope you're doing fine. المهم, most important thing, Shay is back. We are back. Yay. In today's episode, we will talk about a topic that I always wanted to talk about, Mizman. I'm all in this topic. Today we're going to talk about communication, which is an exchange of information ولا feelings تاعك by speaking or writing them. You can exchange information by speaking or writing. This is two ways of exchanging information. Most important that you sharing هادوك feelings ولا thoughts with other people. As you know, احنا as humans, we are social creatures. No matter what, we need others in our lives. At least one person, because we could never survive on our own. Since كنا صغار, we started socializing at a very, very young age with our parents. We learned a lot of life skills from them. Example, speaking. We just need that. And it's gonna be the case حتى نكبروا. حتى we die. This is the case. We need people in our life. Be at least one person. And when we talk about communication, communicating our feelings or communicating our thoughts. For example, now I'm communicating my thoughts with you, and at the same time I'm communicating my feelings about this topic in a way of speaking, of course. وكل واحد فينا عنده a different way of communication. Communicating our feelings can be important to maintain healthy relationships and promote personal well-being. If you communicate with others are gonna feel special. They're gonna have this special spot in your life, and they're gonna feel like they have a role in your life, and they're gonna stick to that role. And as a person, you're gonna feel good after ما تفرغ. For example, you're feeling sad or happy, whatever feeling you're feeling, ولا whatever thoughts you're getting. When you communicate them with the right person, with people, when you communicate هادوك feelings and just someone is there to listen, would make you feel so much better. هادوك feelings that they are stuck ولا the thoughts that they are stuck in you كي تشاركهم مع كاش واحد, it feels like better. It feels at some point تحسهم كانوا heavy عليك ودركا now قسمت هذاك واش كان عندك مع واحد آخر. And this is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of communication. And in order to do that, you need to identify what are you feeling. Take your time to reflect and identify the specific emotions you are experiencing. جمع مع روحك and think and try to know what are you feeling. Is it stress? Is it sadness? Is it anger? Is it happiness? Is it love? Is it excitement? You gotta know what are you feeling and why at some point why are you feeling this in order to communicate هادوك feelings with people more clearly. Because إلا أنت روحك ما راكش فاهم روحك, it's gonna be hard for people باش يفهموك. normally كاين وقت في حياتنا اللي احنا ما نولوش نعرفوا رواحنا. I don't know if you've been through it, but كاين وقت هكا في حياتنا اللي you're really lost in your life. I had this time when it was from 16 till 21 years old, until recently. I mean, when I was 16, I didn't know who I am. I just like I know, yeah, I know I'm we dead. I know who I am, but I don't really know what I'm feeling. There was like this anger, there was sadness in me, there was depression. I didn't know how to behave. What do I want to do? I was really really lost when I was 16, and then uh like little by little I started trying to discover myself through time. I can't say right now like it's easy for me to identify what I'm feeling, but it's better than it was. I would feel things and I didn't know what are these things and why I am feeling them. That was the hard part of it. And I guess the time was when I was building a personality. That's why I was lost. I was lost أنا ما كنت عارفة روحي, and it was pretty hard to communicate. I stopped communicating with people, which has like a bad impact in me. Like you just have a lot of energy kept in you, whether it's negative, even positive. There wasn't like much of positive energy because I only shared it with people, the good things, and the negative energy was really kept in me, and it was hard. And until recently I started communicating well. I have some supportive friends. I'm doing fine, I'm doing way better. I know myself right now. uh, I'm doing better. داك الوقت كما نعرفوش رواحنا it's hard to communicate, وحنا نحس رواحنا lonely and no one can understand us. And just keep it in mind, if you can't understand yourself, at some point you might find someone that can understand you, but it's pretty hard that you can't understand yourself وتلقاكش واحد يقد يفهمك. Seriously. و extra tip for communicating your feelings, كي تجي تهدر ولا تعبر, just use the statement تاع I. Do not talk to, for example, you're going to talk to someone, a friend or a family member ولا, and don't tell them you made me feel or you did this and that, and don't use the you so much. Use I, because you're gonna talk about yourself, you're gonna communicate your feelings. For example, you're in a situation you're holding bad energy towards that person, مش عارفة ادلك عفسة ما دايراش, and you gotta go tell that person باللي you did this and that for me وكل شيء. You're not gonna say it as you did. No, just say I felt really bad that day after you did. Of course they did ولا. I felt, I suppose, I think. Use the I statement, because you're gonna talk about yourself, and using the I statement would make them like understand that this is not somehow attacking them. You're just communicating and telling them and letting them know what are you feeling. وهنا نجو لديك النقطة المهمة تاع نحنا in our society كبرنا على not communicating our feelings. كبرنا على well, I'm gonna give hints, like I'm gonna act mad, I'm gonna act shady, وإلى هذاك العبد كي شغل خصه وحده يعرف باللي راه غلط معايا وحده. Sometimes it's hard for people to guess وش راه صاري. It's hard for example me, I had something with my friend. She's holding bad energy من جهتك شغل, she's holding داك مش عارفة, she's feeling pissed off. I wouldn't notice. After all, I'm human. I try to pay attention as much as I can, but I wouldn't notice. And here comes that it's really important to communicate, because احنا كبرنا عليها دي تاع هذاك العبد اللي عفسه وغادي نشنف عليه وخليه هو يحير. هذاك العبد is not gonna think باللي he did something bad, because they wouldn't notice, they wouldn't know. Instead, they're gonna be like, oh, that person started ghosting me, so that's so, like, not fine, and we're done, and I'm gonna ghost them too, or I'm gonna feel mad too, and I'm gonna give this toxic energy, and it's just gonna end the relationship, or just gonna end in a fight. It's just gonna get toxic with time. so واش رانا خاسرين زعما وكان for example صاحبتي انايا she's mad at me ولا تجي تقول لي hey I really didn't feel so good that day when you said this thing or when you did this thing or it felt like تقول لي it felt bad تقول لي I felt mad. She expresses her feelings and I will know my mistake and I'm gonna apologize about it and I'm gonna be like I'm really sorry and من وجاي I'm gonna pay attention to that certain thing اللي she warned me about and I will pay attention to it and I will not do it or do it باش نسيفي ديك relationship because communication is the key to relationships. If you can't communicate with the people around you, you cannot have a good relationship. And communicating your feelings, تلقاو واحد ال type of people. For example, الexample تاع صاحبتي هذا. She would come tell me and I would get so defensive. Yet she is just telling me. Of course, when you go tell someone about something like this, you gotta say it in a respectful way. For example, yeah, that day I didn't really feel cool. Just say it in a calm way. Like, you're not gonna go fight. You're just telling them that that thing wasn't really cool, or that thing was really cool. You made me happy. Just like give them the hint. But sometimes, وكان جيت تحكي لي, I would take it in an offensive, defensive way. Yet she was talking in a nice way. She was just telling me like, hey, I think I should let you know this, but that day I really felt not fine. I have a lot of examples by this, but I'm not gonna tell them because some people are gonna know I'm talking about them. So yeah, some people would take it in a defensive way and they would create a fight and they would be like, instead of embracing هادوك statement you are giving them تاع it didn't really feel cool وكل شيء, they would be like no, remember the other year, remember the other day, you did this and that. They were just like holding a lot. They didn't communicate, and the moment she communicated, they felt the need to attack back. They felt attacked and they got defensive and they're like, you did this the last year, you did this the before this. Like بدو يجبدوا لك عفايس اللي عندهم شحال من عام. They get defensive. In that point, relationships, and I ended relationships في ديك الدقيقة because it feels like you're gonna go communicate and they're not ready to listen. Like, they're not there. You're talking, but they're not listening. They're just thinking of the next argument or the next statement they're gonna tell you to defend themselves. I'm just telling you, I'm not attacking you. And at some point, I feel like I need an apology because I wouldn't be fine with myself being treated in a way, you know. So yeah, just communicate your feelings, Ijma. It's not, just communicate what's inside you, especially the bad feelings you hold towards others. Don't keep them and then صوالح شغل يبداو يكبروا شغل دوك feelings مشات وجات, they gonna still be there and they gonna affect you if you don't communicate them with others. غادي يكبروا مشات وجات ديك relationship, it's gonna get toxic and it's gonna end. So it's better like to communicate them. And seriously, I really found myself communicating my feelings. Like, if I feel bad about something, well, I just go tell people. And no matter what is their reaction, at least I told them ومانيش شدها في خاطري. And باينة نقصت عليا بزاف emotions, بزاف تعب, بزاف depression, بزاف sadness that would still be in me if I didn't share هادوك feelings with thoughts مع واحد آخرين. This is why it's really important to communicate your feelings. Then another tip, be specific. كي تجي communicate your feelings, هدر على حاجة specific. For example, أنا نجي نهدر with the person على we just given the bad examples that you're feeling bad وكل شيء, but this is life. We find hard time. We have like hard time communicating bad emotions. So yeah. نجي نهضر معك as person and I'd be like, I'm talking about a specific situation that happened, and I really didn't feel happy about that. I'm specific, but instead, the person who's defending themselves, like just thinking of the other statement, they would be like, "Oh, remember the last year? درت لي. Remember هادو شهرين اللي فاتوا. Remember دوك العام." Stuff like just a talk in a specific topic ومن بعدين نقدروا نروحوا last year. انت دركا كي تجي تحكي بي specific، ماشي تمشي لبنادم وتقول لها ما عجبتنيش ديك اللقطه تاع البارح وتاني تاع العام اللي فات وتاني تاع السيمانه اللي فاتت وتاني like دخل هكا. And use examples when you're talking to someone. Give them examples. They would be really helpful. And non-verbal cues. For example, I'm communicating feelings with others. Happiness, for example, I would use eye contact. Even when having like a serious conversation, eye contact would be so helpful, because it shows how much interested you are in that conversation, and it shows how much you're paying attention to that person in that conversation وغادي تكبر فيهم. And also you should practice active listening. When you listen to someone, you know what they are talking about. You understand. ماشي غير تسمع وتحوس على l'argument تاع غادي ندافع باش ندافع على روحي. They're just communicating. احنا we see it in our society. كل تبان لينا حاجة شينة تاع communicating our feelings. It would spare me a lot of problems. For example, having family problems. I don't know about y'all, but there is this type of problems تاع ود عماتك, and you know, and there is this shade that she did that last year and she did that last year and I didn't like her move. They don't go tell each other, but they just hold the shade. And there is shade, no, whatever, wherever you go في ديك الhouse there is shade. في المناسبات there is shade. They don't go like tell each other, oh, remember you did this, yeah, it wasn't really cool, حركة غير موفقة ولا. No, they're just gonna hold shade. And you know, families, this is like families. Instead of talking like you did this and that, it would become a fight. Just you can simply say, I felt I didn't like this, you know. Just keep it simple, keep it nice. وش خسرنا أصلا؟ وش خسرنا if we are nice؟ وش خسرنا إلا we have conversations and we can talk like all night long ولا all day long about that thing, and at the end of it تكون نهاية شغل مثمرة. Even the relationship إلا كملت في ديك الدقيقة شغل at least you communicated، ما خليتهاش في قلبك. This is like the most important thing. And always remember, it's not a fight, it's a discussion. وديك الكوميونيكيشن تنقص علينا بزاف لي بروبلام، بزاف صوالح، بزاف feelings اللي رانا في غنى عنهم من شغل ما نسحقوهمش في حياتنا. دوك لي بروبلام ولا feelings. وكاين also communicating online. أرواحو على communicating online. دركا you meet someone online. This is not a life example for me, but you get to know a friend, get to know someone, and you'll talking for like years and you'll getting along, and at some point when you meet that person it doesn't work. You're not working like as friends, like it's just not working. ما تتفاهموش. At that point mean كي شغل the communication was going wrong. Either that person was giving you a wrong image about themselves ولا you weren't like getting the image كيما كانوا هما يمدوها. You were getting it in another way, and it's so dangerous at this point because تعطيك هكا واحد الشوك تاع you know this person, you damn know this person, and then when you meet them it's like someone you never met. You all don't agree on things. It's just so frustrating. It makes you anxious. So y'all just like when you communicate, you gotta know what are you saying about yourselves, and in order to know what are you saying about yourself, you gotta know yourself. This would be the best thing to do. And again, غادي نهضر لكم على importance of communication. Communication is key to everything. If you communicate, you're gonna save relationships. If couples communicate, marriage غادي يقعد يطول. ما غاديش تكون نسبة الطلاق. I'm not gonna say نسبة الطلاق عالية, but communication is so important and we lack it in our society. And ما كرهتك شغل we start using it. I'm using it. I'm the live example على communication. I started communicating lately like a lot of things اللي كانوا محبوسين inside, and I feel so much better. I feel so much, it just feels good. ما نكدبش عليكم, it just feels good and y'all gotta do it because the feeling is so good. Yeah, that's all. هدرت بزاف اليوم. Wow. I hope sadly this is the end of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I know بلي هدرنا بزاف and there is a lot to say about communication, and I was thinking whether I get a guest for this episode or just me, and look, it was just me and I said a lot and there is like a lot left to say. Maybe we're gonna do a second part of this to talk about certain points اللي ما هدرناش عليهم اليوم, but this is communication. It's so big, it's so necessary for our life. كي شغل جاي topic حساس. I hope y'all liked the episode. I hope عجبكم الحال وانتم تسمعوني. I'm sorry again because طولت عليكم. Yet I'm gonna try باش نحط الحلقات more like بطريقة فعالة جدا. I don't know where this Arabic is coming from, but yes, like إذا كان عندكم any opinion, of course, any questions, comment or DM me on Instagram. Don't forget to follow Shay on YouTube, Instagram, and there is also the email if you have anything, any topic to suggest. Dijani قلت لكم suggest me topics on Instagram. The topics were pretty interesting. I'm gonna talk about those topics because y'all suggested some interesting topics. Thank you so much. If anyone want to be a guest or you want to talk about something in Shay, let me know. I would be so happy to have you because after all, Shay is your warm tea gada. It's a safe space where you can talk about your ideas, you express yourself. Feel free to say whatever you want في comments and yeah, that's all. I hope you like the episode again. Tell me what you think. Thank you so much, everyone. This was Videt, and goodbye. Shay Podcast, your warm tea gada.